right, welcome back to Baldur's Gate Descent into Avernus, session 33. We are excited to be back and playing. We got all our characters here. Dolakesh is absent for now, but supposedly should be coming partway during the session. But yeah, if you're watching for the first time here on Twitch or YouTube later, I'll just talk a little bit how our process works. So I'll start by giving an overview of the campaign so far, a high-level overview. Then we'll do some character introductions. Then our characters themselves will recap in more detail the events of last session, and then we'll get into some gameplay. But yeah, let's just go ahead and get started. So the story began in the Western Heartlands in the city called Elturel. Elturel had a giant artificial sun that hung over the city, and our party started in Elturel going on a mission for some of the leaders of the city. On their way back to the city, the entire artificial sun, which is called the Companion, grew dark and crackled in lightning, and the city vanished before the characters' eyes, leaving nothing left but a crater in the ground. The party went ahead and they found a caravan of refugees and helped them on a 10-day trek back to the nearest city of Baldur's Gate. When they got to Baldur's Gate, they found that the city was under lockdown due to the refugee crisis. Luckily, some of our members had an in with the Flaming Fist, and they were able to talk to Flame Zaj of the Basilisk Gate. Flame Zaj would allow them entry if they would solve a set of murders that was happening in the outer city. They were able to solve that set of murders to Zaj's satisfaction, and then he gave them the task of solving a simultaneous set of murders that was happening in the inner city. Whole bunch of stuff went down. One of the Dukes of Baldur's Gate died. A party member died. They fought some pirates. But all in all, they ended up uncovering a plot, a hidden plot by one of the Dukes of Baldur's Gate, the Vanthampurs, specifically Duke Thalamra Vanthampur, who was behind the murders and secret worshippers of Zariel. They were able to defeat the Duke after also having a run-in with the Cult of the Dragon, and then were tasked with... Actually, I was just about to get into the events of last session, so we said we're not going to do that. But they were able to defeat the Duke, and that is where we ended after having defeated the Duke in her own home, in her own manor. We ended not last session, but the session before. And last session, I'm actually going to let the party describe that in a little bit more detail. But yeah, without further ado, why don't we get into some character introductions? So, Igvis, do you want to tell everybody what Igvis is all about?
Hello, my name is Manny, and I play Igvis. Igvis is a winged tiefling monk and Gauntlet of the Flaming Fist. Currently, he's been kind of thrown around a lot, dealing with a lot of things, had to deal with the Cult of the Dragon, protected a lost family member, and is now on this crazy mission from Blaze Porter, who got roped into doing again because he never has a choice.
Perfect. And Anarian?
I'm Jonathan. I play Anarian, who is a Shatterkai Druid of the Stars. He is kind of a street urchin that the party picked up after being imprisoned by I think it was the Cult of the Dragon that was imprisoning me. They set me free, and I've just been hanging around him ever since. He's, kind of oblivious to what's going on, but he's super interested in kind of making friends with everyone, so he just keeps going with it. He also has a shield that he is very interested in, becoming friends with a possessed shield that he has. So that's Narian.
Perfect. And F15T?
I'm Zach. I play F1-5T, the 7-foot-tall barbarian. He don't remember much about his past, but his best friend Raylan is what put him back together, and he follows her. He'll get his memories back, maybe he won't.
Perfect. And Raylan.
I'm Rich. I play Raylan. She's a half-elf sorcerer. She's been rolling with fists for about 5 years. They met up at the party 2 sessions ago when they were fighting the Duke.
Perfect. And then we also have Dolakesh, who is a dragonborn warlock. And if you want to know a little bit more about what Dolakesh's mission is, you can view the last session's recording, session 32, where he does a little introduction about himself. But okay, so why don't we start recapping last session? So if you're watching for the first time, what I like to do is have all the characters roll a single d20 here at the start of the session. Whoever rolls the lowest gets the honor of recapping the events of last session from their character's perspective. So Igvis already starting off with the 14. If everybody else wants to go ahead and give me that d20 roll. Okay, F15T. Okay, F15T with the 7, Raylan with the 15, and Anarian with the 18. So F15T, you get the honor of recapping the events of last session from your character's perspective. So whenever you're ready, you can go ahead and give us a recap.
All right. The party made its way out of the basement of the mansion, where we come up to the site of Miss Blaze Porter, the niece of the Duke. Porter, the niece of the Duke, just been murdered. The ones that sent Raylan and F1-5T on the mission. We discussed some things with her. Some apparent old members of the party are now in their custody. And then she looked at us and told us, "You're take care of this box that you found. Escort the man known as oh shit. The man we found in the basement. Yeah. I'll go with him. Escort Alistair Fisk to Candlekeep, where we're going to take the box that we found." We spent the rest of the day getting supplies and goods. Some people went up and got a few new magical items. And from there we set forth in the wagon, where we came across, battled another one of their old companions who wanted the shield that Anarian had found hard. Like I said, we did battle, we subdued him, and we continue on the road to Candlekeep.
Perfect. Great summary there. So yeah, why don't we just get into some gameplay here? I'm going to switch some maps. All right, so as you ended off last time, you had just defeated Vati, and the group that he was with, he had, just as a recap, introduced himself as part of Knights of the Shield, some sort of organization that was really interested in this shield that Anarian was carrying. You tried to negotiate with them, especially Dolakesh, in order to just let you pass, and you can talk about it later, but he said if you don't give it to him, he'll take it by force, and Dolakesh was able to paralyze him pretty quickly, right on the draw, as you were able to just overwhelm him and all of the knights that he was with, especially with the summoning of such a gigantic serpent. But we have ended here with Vati unconscious, his entourage of knights dead, and all of you here over his unconscious body. What would you like to do?
Did we ever find out
Leaving him here.
what these other people had in their pockets after we killed them?
Yes. So they don't have too much. They all have shields on them. They are wearing plate, so full plate armor, if that interests anyone. And they have halberds.
Excellent.
Are we leaving him here?
I want to talk to him, guys. I'm gonna have the snake tie him up.
All right, so you go to tie him up.
No, the snake is going to
Oh,
constrict him.
the snake's going to constrict him. Okay, sounds good. And how long does the snake last again?
An hour.
Okay.
So he's having the snake constrict him, and then he's going to cast Healing Word and wake him up.
Can I stop you just before you do that?
Yeah. I'm sorry. You don't want to wake him up yet?
Well, we know that he's after the shield. We know that the shield is telling you it doesn't want to go with him. My question is, how much does this shield talk to you? Has it been doing that since you got it?
Yeah, it was. We've been talking to it since we've been talking since I picked it up down in the basement.
And you feel like you can trust the voice in this shield?
There's a trapped soul inside the shield. I wanna return it to the cycle.
Last question. This soul identified itself to you, yes?
It says it's a celestial that's been trapped here by an evil group.
Can we confirm this?
Well, I don't have any reason not to believe it. It speaks celestial.
Lots of things.
As
that
the
speak
thing,
celestial.
has the soul given you a name?
It gave me a title. Let me remember what it was. Just 1 second. I got a lot of notes on it.
It's always funny when you're just like, it's in my memory here. Let me find it.
Where the heck did I put it? DM, I'm gonna have to ask because I don't remember it's the hidden. Is it the hidden one?
Yes.
Hidden one.
Well, it's the Hidden Lord.
The Hidden Lord. I'm sorry. I know I have it somewhere, but I can't find it.
The Hidden Lord. Okay.
The Hidden Lord.
Is that anything that may pick up something in my memory? Damn, have I heard this before?
Have you heard it before? That is a very good question. Give me a second because you may have. And I'm going to just double check my notes to see if you have.
Okay.
Would I have maybe come across any information about it, considering my background?
You have not, Narian, definitely. No, Igvis, you have not come across this term.
Okay. Then, in that case, I'll just speak to Mary and just be like, let's take everything it says with a grain of salt for now till we know more about this. Will you at least do that for me?
Yeah, but that was why I wanted to talk to Vati.
Okay.
He seems to know more about it than me.
Then I'm okay with this. And then I'll stand over here. Feel free to proceed.
All right.
So I heal Vati for 7 to bring him back up.
All right. You heal Vati for 7, and he wakes up. And he goes, "Oh, you got the best of me there, Dolakesh on the draw. It's if it had been the other way around, I'm not so sure your party would have done so well."
Well, we killed all your other men in like 15 seconds, so I don't think you really had a chance.
And he looks around and he says, "You murdered them?"
Not intentionally.
Wasn't my plan.
What has gotten into you?
Up to me.
I thought that you were good people, heroic people.
I didn't let the snake eat any of them.
It
And
stopped me from finishing you.
listen, let's talk. Is this really necessary? As he goes, "Ugh," as the snake squeezes him a little bit.
Yes.
Depends. How persistent are you on the shield must go with you route?
Well, obviously, I still believe the shield should go with me, of course, but look, you have me outnumbered. Clearly, I am quite hurt here, and I'm not going anywhere.
I know how much of a pain you can be, Vati. I feel like it's necessary.
Igvis, think of how many good times we've had together as well. Did we not bond over our adventures? Did I not lend you my place to stay? Don't we have a connection? You can trust me. I would not be doing this if it was not for an important reason.
Tell me what the reason is.
I wish I could, but I cannot. You just need to trust me that the shield must come with me.
Let me be very
Oh,
clear, Vati. The last time I
Want to
saw
grab
you...
one?
Go ahead.
I want to grab one of his horns as I answer the questions.
Don't hurt him. I think he's our friend.
Fist. Just give it a minute.
And he goes, "Ah!" as you like grab his horn, and then you say that, and he says, "Well, the new one is a little hands-on, isn't he?"
You have to forgive my friend. He's young.
Igvis, I was wondering, I was planning on talking to the people at Candlekeep about the shield. If Vati won't tell me what he wants, I was going to invite him to come to Candlekeep with us and speak to the readers there. I really like to know what he wants the shield for, though.
That's an option.
'Cause-
Vati, instead of trying to take the shield with you, are you willing to come with us instead? You'll at least be next to it.
He thinks for a moment. Roll me a persuasion. Igvis and Anarian. Either one of you can roll, and the other can get advantage. Like one of you can give advantage
plus-
to a roll, and one of you.
I'll give it to you, like, because it's your idea to begin with.
So roll persuasion at advantage.
Yep.
I'm a +0, so yay.
I have a -1.
A 12.
He says it's a very tempting offer, but I must stress the important Igvis of what I am here to do. The Knights of the Shield, we protect the shield of Sylvam. You must give it to me. You must. And I cannot tell you why, and you must trust me. I promise
Okay.
that I will reveal at a later time, but for now, it is imperative. Lives are at stake that you trust me.
Can I roll insight real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'd like to
Oh,
place
God.
my hand on Vadi's shoulder and just say, listen, be reasonable. Just come with us. What's the harm? It's just another day.
The harm is that time is of the essence. What is your name again? I'm not sure we've met.
My name is Raylan.
Raylan. The issue is that time is of the essence here. And Candlekeep is what? 4 days from here? 3 days from here? That's 3 days or 4 days there and another 5 days back. You're asking me to be gone for a week and a half to 2 weeks. And it's just far too long.
But it would have
There's
been
just-
longer if no one had found the shield to begin with. Yes?
I was almost there. I had almost found it before you did.
There's a soul at stake, though. It must be returned to the cycle.
Even more important why you should give it to me. You've already asked me if I am planning to release it, and I have already told you yes. Is that not
Matthew.
what you said your plan was anyway?
Not exactly. My plan is to let it return to the cycle and be reborn.
And to do that, it must be released from its prison, no?
I would guess. That's what I'm going to ask the readers at Candlekeep. I can't let it go if you won't tell me what you're going to use it for.
Yeah, Vati, you
You-
don't have the best track record in the world. The last time I saw you, you brought cultists to me and then skipped town.
Oh, well, let's let bygones be bygones, Why don't we? You'd know that, obviously. That wasn't intentional. There were bigger things at stake here, which is what I'm trying to tell you now. I just cannot tell you exactly what. This is why I need you to trust me. All will be revealed in time.
If you want bygones to be bygones, then we'll wipe the whole past clean, and we'll act like we're brand new. I do not trust you.
Look, fellas, this is really quite simple. Either you can come with us and be part of the process, you can tell us what you know, or I'll just incapacitate you again and we'll leave you here. And we'll just go anyway. I don't want to do that. But this is where we are.
Fine, fine. I will go with you. We will go to Candlekeep. You will ask your questions. And then once you trust me again, I am asking that you please hand over the shield.
If
But
I trust you,
If the
I'll do
world
it.
falls and everything goes to ruin, just know that it's on your heads.
Well, I wouldn't say it's on our heads because all you have to do is tell me what's wrong and I'll hand it to you right now.
Look, magical wards keep me to secrecy. I cannot physically tell you, even if I wanted to.
Can I run an insight check on that one?
Sure, go ahead.
Because my other one sucked.
Anarian also has a passive 17 insight, so
Yeah.
That'll do.
So, with your insight, Igvis, you've gotten to know Vati pretty well, and you just get the feeling that he's giving you excuse after excuse, and you're pretty confident he's just bullshitting you in pretty much everything that he says.
Okay. In that case, I'll just approach Vati and be like, okay, if time is of the essence, you're coming with us. We are not leaving with you, to be clear. And second stipulation is either you don't step within 30 feet of Anarian who has the shield, or if you are, I'm between you. Is that clear?
Yes, Igvis, I understand. Always the leader.
I hate that you even think that. And then I'll start walking away.
I could always knock him out. Make the trip
No.
easier for us.
I think
No,
he's a
fists.
friend.
If he tries anything, then you can bonk him on the noggin. Otherwise, let's be civil about this.
Hey, Fist,
Okay,
he can ride
Ray.
on your horse, okay?
Okay.
I know they're both really big guys, so that might not be the best plan in the world, but here we go.
The snake will eat him if he does anything wrong. Come on, Snakey.
All right, so you're putting him on Fist's horse. So okay,
The snake lets him go, so he
okay.
can
The
walk.
snake lets him go, and he kind of like shakes it off for a moment and says, "Well, let's go, Fist."
Let us venture forth.
And then Fallister Fisk looks at you all as this is going down and you're getting on your horses and says, "Well, you know, he is going to need a gift of learning as well."
Fair. Hey, Bati. You, I know part of our past you had to make, we'll call it a deal. Maybe that could be your gift? Information on your, I guess we'll call them patron.
It has to be written down.
Write it. I don't care.
Well, I will try to write it down. See if that works.
Then done. Thanks for the reminder, Fisk. And keep going.
All right. And you all head off. You continue on for a good portion of the day, and right as the you're gonna have basically all day if there's any kind of conversation you wanted to have along the way, but at the end of the day, right when you're about looking for rest, you come upon the Friendly Arm Inn, and you are somewhat familiar with the Friendly Arm Inn, and I do have a picture here. Looks like this. And you are somewhat familiar with the Friendly Arm Inn because it's a well-known inn, and it is along the road between Baldur's Gate and Candlekeep, and a lot of travelers pass by, and a lot of people talk about it. So it's a popular inn, a popular establishment. And basically there is a gate, and inside this courtyard is a really tall building. And that big building is the Friendly Arm Inn. Many a weary traveler come to the inn for rest while traveling the main road up and down the Sword Coast. But you're more than welcome to stop there if you want or continue on. It's up to you.
Oh, I will say that probably on the way, since I'm the only one who really knows that he was lying, I probably would have at least told Raylan about it.
Okay.
If Raylan wants to spread that to the rest of the party, they're welcome to, but I would have told Raylan.
Sounds good.
Raylan would have probably kept this to herself for a little bit. Eventually, I
Or
probably
the
would have told an Aryan.
Sounds good. All right. Do you want to stop at this inn, or would you like to continue on?
What time of the day is it? You said like closer to the end?
At this point, it's probably close to 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock as you're thinking about stopping. You could probably get another couple hours in before you really feel you need to stop, but you can also do forced marches. You can continue on if you want to get to Candlekeep quicker. It's really up to you.
I'll leave it up to a vote.
Hey,
Do you guys want to stay here for the night?
I believe it would be smart not to push it.
Just above board, I want to stop at the Friendly Arms Inn because I've always wanted to stop there. But yeah, We don't have to.
Okay.
Well, I mean,
That's two for yes.
we could get food while we're there, and at least supper and whatnot,
Three
and
for
at
yes.
least
We're stopping then.
sleep and not really have to worry too much about standing guard. Maybe.
We're putting at least 2 people in the Ruminarians in. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, and Arian will sleep as a cat, so it'll be fine.
All right. Sounds good. So I will change here the map. And I am going to put you on this new map. So you should gradually... All right, let's see. I think I got everyone there. Yes. So
looks like we're good.
as you come to the friendly arm, and there are stone gates, and I'll just kind of describe real quick for you before we get started what you see actually in here where I put you. But you get up to those stone gates, and there are a couple guards there who gladly open the gates and let you in. And as you come in, they say, "No fighting. Those be the rules." And you continue on, and inside what is a walled courtyard around the outside stands that really tall building, probably about 60 feet tall. And it looks maybe 3 floors in total. And there are 2 big double wooden doors as you approach, and you open those wooden doors to enter the inn and come into here, which is what you see. This is a very large room, 30-foot high ceilings, and across the way is a bar. And standing at that bar, barely above the bar, is what looks to be a gnome. And the gnome looks like this. Well, looks like my picture isn't popping up, but you can kind of see it there on the picture behind the bar, and it's a white-haired gnome on the side, balding on the top, big white beard, and has a pipe in his mouth that he is smoking. And he seems to just be whistling on the side of his mouth with the pipe in there. And then around the bar, you can see quite a few individuals that seem to be having a drink and laughing and having a good time. To the south are a set of stairs that seem to go up to a second level.
Hello.
Why, hello there. What can I do you for here at the Friendly Arm Inn?
Me and my companions. Rooms for the evening.
Rooms? Of course, you're more than happy to have a room to stay here at the Friendly Arm Inn. It's a mere 2 gold pieces per person.
And we have, 7 here? So 14.
Yep, 14 gold pieces.
Got
there.
it. 14.
I think Manny wants to have a bunk with me just to be safe.
That's fine.
Just make it 6 rooms. Make it easy. Oh, your picture popped up finally.
It's 2 apiece anyway, so I mean, I'll hand them the 14.
he says, "Wonderful! I'm glad that you've handed me this gold, and I'm glad that you're staying with us for the evening. Upstairs, there are 2 more floors. Please feel free to pick any bed that is free. We don't have doors here at the Friendly Arm Inn, being friendly and all. So there are plenty of rooms, open beds. Just pick one, any that suits your fancy."
I
Thank
go
you.
back over and I'd like to lean in real close to Igvis and very quietly say they don't have doors here, so I think we should put Fist in the doorway.
Sounds good to me. Hey, Vati, before we go to bed, I have questions for you anyway.
All right, Igvis, of course. I would assume nothing less.
And I think I would bring Dolakesh with me as extra insurance.
Okay. And as you guys head upstairs and you're down there in Arian, and Raylan, as you're there as well, the gnome says, "So, what are you doing here? What brings you along the coast way?"
We're traveling to Candlekeep.
"Traveling to Candlekeep. My, what a journey. You're coming from north, I assume, based on, where you're headed. What brings you to Candlekeep?"
Oh, a lot of things. There's been some trouble up in Baldur's Gate, and we were doing some investigations and some other things. We have a shield and a cube and a bunch of stuff.
"Oh, a shield and a cube. How interesting. It seems a long way to go to a library for a shield and a cube. What's so special about those?"
Oh, that's why you go to the library, to find out.
I do suppose that you can read about cubes and shields in any old library in any old city. Those must be some very special items that you have to warrant going to the Great Library.
Possibly.
Oh, it's also just always been on my bucket list.
I see. Well, good luck on your travels, of course. I hope that you find what you need. Oh, do you have a gift? I think they call it a gift of learning. You're going to need that to get into the library, I hope you didn't come all this way without it.
I'm working on mine. I was going to order some food and sit over there at that table that's empty.
Well, okay, yes, absolutely. We do have food. What are you feeling?
Well, I guess, who else is down here? Can you just serve a smorgasbord?
A smorgasbord. I've never heard that term before, but sure, I can serve you whatever a smorgasbord is.
Just all the bunch of stuff you have? Give me a
Great,
sampler.
great. And he will reach underneath the counter and he'll pull out a large platter. And as he goes back to his wares behind him, you'll see him cut up some fish and he'll serve it on the platter. He'll wrap it in some sort of seaweed-like substance and some grain inside of it. And then he'll pour a bowl of what looks to be hot soup. And then he'll lay out a couple different cheeses. And then he waves his hand, and a magic kind of sparkle comes out of his hand and envelops the plate. And these items that, they didn't look the most tasty. All of a sudden, when you look at them, you see your favorite food. Whatever that might be to you. And it is the most delicious thing that you have ever seen on this plate.
And that's a neat trick. I'd like to learn that one. Can I have a milk as well?
A milk?
And then
you
it's
say?
Celestial. And then it's Celestial. He's gonna ask the shield if he wants anything.
Oh no, so very weak. Set free.
We're trying, but would something to eat help?
I can't. No way to imbibe.
Okay, just thought I'd try.
Eternal hunger.
Before Anarian walked away, I would have leaned over and in Celestial I would have said, "Is everything okay?"
Oh yeah, I just asked if the shield wanted anything to eat. He said, eternal hunger, can't imbibe.
Gotcha.
And the gnome says, well, if you stay for a little bit longer, a couple more days, I might be able to show you a trick or two. You look like you might be of the magical variety, if I might say, as he looks to both Anarian and Raylan.
Oh, I'd love to, but we're kind of in a hurry.
Maybe on our way back.
I understand, of course. Anarian, Raylan, Fist, go ahead and give me perception checks.
Okay. Hold on. Why is this not popping up? Uh, oh, hell yeah.
Nice. Fist, as you come back down after perusing a little bit and you come up to the bar there where Rayland and Anarian have just gotten a large platter of food. You're standing there as they're finishing up their conversation, and you look up to the north, and there is an individual over here where I am pinging.
Yeah.
In the corner, sitting on a chair. And he can't stop staring at Anarian and Raylan, you notice. It is glaringly obvious. And as you lock eyes with him, he quickly averts his gaze and looks down at his lap where he seems to have something covered in a cloth that he is caressing.
Are your eyes working okay, friend?
Yes. Yes, my eyes are working fine. Yeah. Thank you for asking.
You seem to be staring hard at my companions over there.
Oh, yes, they are, quite interesting. I might, like to have a word with them, if they would be so willing.
Does this have to pertain to what you have on your lap?
And as you mentioned that, he kind of clutches it a little bit tighter, like off of his lap and into his chest. He says, yes, it does happen to pertain to that. Very, very astute of you.
What is it?
It's, a book.
While Fist is over there, I'd like to, I want to order like 5 ales.
Okay, sounds good. You are able to do that, and it is a mere 2 gold pieces to get all 5 of those ales. And, in similar fashion, the gnome will pour a bubbling liquid that at first glance doesn't look too appetizing, but as he quickly waves his finger over the glass, the bubbling settles down and it turns into a bluish purple sheen, a sparkling sheen. And again, you get this this sense of like you just want to devour it. It looks delicious.
I'll hand him the 2 gold and say, thank you, these look very appetizing. And I'll take them over to the table with an Aryan.
You wish to speak with them? How about you come with me with my watchful eye?
Okay, that sounds fine. Agreeable. And he will follow you.
Hey, Anarian, we have somebody who kept staring at you.
Did you make a
He
new
wishes-
friend, Fist? He can have some of our food.
He kept staring at you.
That's normal. I'm a bit different looking.
Something about a book.
Come sit down and eat with us.
Okay.
So what's your name,
I
friend?
stand right behind him, ready for anything.
Sounds good. And he kind of looks up nervously at Fist above him and then looks back at you both and says, my name is Brand.
Nice to meet you, Bran. I'm an Aryan.
Yes, nice to meet you. Sorry for eavesdropping, but I couldn't help but overhear that you were going to Candlekeep.
Yes.
Yeah,
But-
we're on our way there now. Or tomorrow.
I would ask a favor of you if you don't mind. I know that you do not know me, but I have a mission of great importance, and, well, I don't know why, but I have this feeling that I can trust you.
Okay.
Okay,
And-
that's nice.
And he will pull out this this wrapped object in cloth that he's been clutching so hard the entire time, and will put it on the table, and he'll slide it over towards you and say, wrapped in this cloth is a book, a very important book, and it
Really?
must be delivered to Candlekeep, to Bookworm himself.
Do you mind if I look at it?
Says it is important that nobody read it except for the first reader. But
Can I
you
roll
may,
insight to see if there's any evil intent in his words?
Is it permissible to look at the covers and the binding, at least?
yes, of course, and yes, you can roll insight if you would like. So he will unwrap it as you ask that, and we'll show you this. It looks like this. And it has those words, a deep and creeping darkness along the spine of the book. And he says, this book was passed down to me from my grandfather. And it tells a harrowing tale. It's one that the first reader himself only should read. Knowledge only for him. I trust that you won't read it yourselves, of course.
Of course, but knowledge can be a dangerous thing. It's not going to hurt him, is it?
No, of course not.
All right, I'll wrap it back up and pick it up and. Okay.
Oh, can I ask one question of you?
Certainly.
Why don't you deliver it yourself?
I haven't been to Candlekeep in some time, and, well, quite frankly, I just have no desire to go back.
Can I incite that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Too many paper cuts?
Yes,
You roll as well as I do, Raylan.
yes, paper cuts and the like.
I think we can deliver it for you. What do you think, Raylan?
I think we can do that, yeah. I'll just tuck it here in my robes.
Thank you, I appreciate it. And with that, he'll actually stand up, and he won't walk back to where he was sitting, but he will walk out the front doors of the inn.
You don't want any food?
And he turns around as you say that after having stood up and says, "No, I'm quite all right." And then turns around to walk away.
So long. Anarian will wait till he leaves and then turn to Raylan and say, I'm normally pretty trusting, but that guy seemed fishy to me.
Incredibly.
We need to be careful with that book, maybe.
My thoughts exactly. I was waiting for him to leave, and then I'm gonna see if I can. Any feelings I might be able to get from holding the book.
Sure, I mean, you hold the book, and it feels like a leather-bound tome. The binding seems pretty firm, and the inscription along the side has this glowing orange sheen to it. The title of the book right there. The pages, just at least from what you can see on the outside of the book, seem worn. So it seems a little bit older, but it seems to have stood the test of time.
Would I be able to feel any kind of maybe residual magic or anything like that?
Do you have detect magic?
No.
Then otherwise you wouldn't be able to detect any kind of magic if there was any without like the spell detect magic. Yeah.
Should we have let him go?
I think it's safe to let him go, but I think maybe we should ask the gnome and see if he knows him. Hey, Mr. Gnome, I forgot your name already. Sorry about that. Do you know that guy that was sitting over there in that chair?
Well, I don't think you ever asked my name. It's Bentley Mirrorshade. At your service.
Oh, and it's yours as well. I'm Narian. Very
I'm
nice to
Raylan.
meet you.
It's nice to meet you as well, Anarian. But no, to answer your question, I don't know who that individual is. Well, quite frankly, I don't know who a lot of the people who pass by my establishment are. We are quite busy, and we get a lot of traffic here on the coastway.
Okay, very good. I wondered if he had rented a room and maybe you had his signature on your book, but alrighty.
Nope, he did not rent a room for me. He just stood over there quietly. A curious thing. Didn't order anything to eat, nothing to drink.
Interesting. He wouldn't share our food either. Okay, sorry to bother you. Anarian doesn't trust people who don't eat food.
As weird as a question is, did his body seem to be physically there?
Yeah, he was
Or
looked like a person just like everybody else. He had longer black hair that kind of came over his forehead and right above his eye. But in this gloomy look to him. But yeah, no, otherwise he looked just as
no
real as
discrepancies in the
everybody
ways
else.
no discrepancies in the way he interacted with like furniture or whatnot?
Nope, nothing like that.
I think maybe later we can talk with Igvis about it. And, but I think
Yes, sir.
for the time being, we should just eat and enjoy our drink. And Fist, when we do go to sleep tonight, or when we bed down for the night, I think myself and Igvis think it'll be a good idea if you were to put yourself inside whatever room that an Aryan sleeps in and park yourself right in the doorway.
So, right then. And the fact is, people can't move me either.
That's the idea.
All right. We're going to take a really quick cutscene and go straight over to Igvis, Dolakesh, and Vati upstairs. What are you doing up there, Igvis, as all this is kind of going on downstairs?
Just a bit of interrogation. I basically just gonna sit Vati in the corner.
Okay.
And just look him straight in the eye and be like, "So Vati, I need you to be honest with me. You've been a little shifty basically since I met you. I need the truth. What's going on with this stupid shield? And I know you can tell me."
He says, Igvis, I really can't tell you. I know that you want me to, but I can't tell you. And
Lie to
no,
me again.
I
and
am
will
not
slap you.
magically bound, okay? No. But I can't tell you. It would put you in great danger.
Like I already aren't. If you refuse to answer my questions again, and let me be very clear, you're not going to leave this place alive. I'm done being lied to by you.
You would murder somebody here, just in straight cold blood, Igvis?
You were about to do it to us.
To be
Think of
clear,
it as delayed self-defense.
To be clear, I just said that I would have to take it by force, but I did not make the first swing.
Again, Vati, tell me the truth. What's going on? And know that at this point you're on your last legs.
And he will roll me an intimidate.
Take a 20.
20, nice. And as you stare at him, his eyes flare up. And his eyes glow this flaming red blaze. And his voice changes from the Vati that you know. And he gets this deeper, guttural, resonating voice to him. And he says, "You have no idea what you carry. You have no idea what powers you are messing with. No, I will not tell you. No, you will not find out. And sure, strike me down now, and you will see, you will feel the wrath later of the Lord who watches, the Lord of all, and you will see me again.
So you're the patron.
The patron. Oh, ye of little knowledge, ye mortal, ye imbecile, you know nothing. And his body will change. And in like a flame, he goes from looking like Vati to being completely skinless. Think of like a naked mole almost, as it's just his wrinkly old skin and his eyebrows fade away, and what are left are just pits of blackness, no eyeballs, no eyes. He has these fangs that come out of his mouth, dripping in blood that just seems to pour endlessly from his mouth. His horns go from this curl and flail out wide and then straight up. And he says, "See you in hell, Igvis." And he dissipates in ash.
So Vati's just gone.
Gone.
Okay. I'll just turn to Dolokesh and just be like, that's like the third person who's threatened me with hell at this point. I am so done with these outer beings. I hate everything. Like, not even shaken at this point. Like, obviously the image shook him a little bit, but I'm not afraid of this thing in particular. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Just like, I'm so tired. I am so done. All of this is stupid. Why? And I don't know what Delta will say. He can decide later.
Yeah. And you guys
then-
can role play that if you like, also, and like on your own and recap.
Yeah. And after that, then I assume this would have taken us a while. I would just go downstairs and meet everyone.
Okay. Sounds good. And Dolokesh will follow you.
Okay.
Dolikas is such a loyal friend. He seems to follow Igvis wherever he goes.
Oh, this is not the right direction.
Yeah, you went up.
Whoops. All right. I'll figure it out. It's fine.
I had the same problem when I tried to get back downstairs.
It's around the corner there to the right. There you go.
Yeah, I got it. Hey, everyone.
Hey, we ordered
we
a
have-
lot of food.
We have ale.
I don't drink. I'm sorry.
I got milk too.
More
Milk
for
I'll
me.
take. Milk I'll take. And I'm sure Dolokesh would absolutely grab a glass of that. So good news. Well, I have some good news and some possibly upsetting news.
Let's go with the
Did you kill
possibly
him?
upsetting nude for it first.
Eat first. I'll tell you upstairs,
Okay.
and then we'll do all of that.
Sounds
If you
good.
wanna-
So you guys are able to eat, hang out as long as you want downstairs, discuss whatever you would like. And then, of course, you're more than welcome to go upstairs for the night, and unless you have anything else you specifically wanted to talk about down here.
Down here, I have nothing.
Yeah, no,
So we
not
need
down
to
here.
go upstairs. Let's go upstairs then.
Somewhere a little more isolated. That's all.
He picks up his tray of food and takes it with him. I'll bring this back, Mr. Gnome. I forgot your name again already. Bentley.
No problem, Anarian. I hope you enjoy the food and enjoy your night rest.
Oh, they weren't kidding. They really don't have doors.
Nope, no, they don't. Basically, my plan was to come in here and just have us all in this room with Fist posted here.
Oh yeah.
But that might not be necessary anymore. Although, we still might do that anyway. Yeah, bring them as far away from all the open areas as possible, and then just explain what the hell happened, what I saw, the fact that I'm happy Vati's not here anymore, and
Oh, where-
lastly, describe the being, hoping that somebody might recognize it.
Where's Vati at?
Went
you
into
kill him?
flames, and no, I didn't kill him. I'm tempted. I was tempted though.
So he just burned up?
Anarian, you were there, and Fist was there when the Duke got consumed, essentially, by the altar.
Yeah, I was there.
It was kind of like that, but originating from within the body. It's hard to describe, and then I'll describe the beast that I saw and the threat that they made.
That's creepy.
It's like the third time somebody's, threatened me with hell. I honestly don't care about these outer beings. I'm so done with it.
I think you're a good person. I don't think you'll end up in hell. He pats you on the shoulder.
That's debatable, Anarian, but I appreciate the comfort. Anyway, glad we didn't give him the shield, and glad he's no longer here. That's really all I can say about it.
Sorry, I invited a demon to join us in our quest. Or devil, or some kind of evil guy.
Yeah,
How were you to know?
I also give them the titles that he gave me. Does anybody recognize any of them? Because everybody's so bad about giving names.
You actually recognize Igvis.
Oh, okay.
The names that he said. The Lord who watches, the Lord of all. And those names go back to the third session or fourth session.
Oh, it's been a while then.
Yeah, you remember that you guys had gone into that keep that was haunted, pretty much,
Mhm.
and there was a letter there to one of the PC's fathers, to Lord Tigerian, and in that letter it mentioned those names: the Lord who watches, the Lord of all. And I will share that with you again. It is in your handouts, but I'll do it for the sake of the stream too, just to remind the stream of what it said. But it is Letter to Lord Tigerian. It's in level 2 handouts, which you should be able to access.
Mhm.
Forever.
Yeah, this was. So he referred to himself as both the Lord who watches and the Lord of all.
So this was addressed to Lord Tigerian,
Oh, no.
who was the lord of that castle. And you had found this letter.
The thing that we just dealt with Vati, he referred to himself with both names.
He said, the Lord of all, the one who watches. The
one.
Lord who watches, the Lord of all, is all-powerful, and you will kneel before him.
Right. Okay. So I'll specify. He called himself the Lord of all, not necessarily the first one.
Anarian's going to tell the shield that title and ask him if it knows anything about it. Mr. Shield, Mr. Hidden Lord, do you know anything about the Lord of all? He watches stuff? He tried to steal you.
I know not, so tired. Please, release me.
We're trying.
They also warned us about the fact that we know not the powers we deal with, which also sounds kind of familiar at this point. Stupid necklaces too, I swear to God.
Cubes, shields. Oh yeah. Did we mention we met some shifty dude downstairs who gave us a book to take to Candlekeep?
Please tell me
Okay.
you at least got a name.
Oh yeah, his name was Bran, but we're not
Bran,
entirely sure that's what it actually is.
and
He
none of us
was
really like Bran.
He was staring awfully hard at an Aryan in Ray.
Hmm. I wonder why them in particular.
I normally try to stay as a cat because people think I look kind of weird.
You're definitely not normal, but still no reason to stare. But I guess we're not in Baldur's Gate anymore, so.
But anyway, he gave us this book, and I'll pull it out and unwrap it and say that he said that we shouldn't read it. So we haven't. Not sure if we should take his word for that, but I think for now it's probably better to err on the side of caution and just leave it closed. But you're more than welcome to look at it.
Well, let's not, because I don't know what you're dealing with either. Let's just give it to them with a huge grain of salt that it should be done under controlled conditions, whatever they want to do to be safe. I'm sure they've dealt with worse.
I agree.
Is Fallister up here, Mr. Fisk?
Fallister is up here, not in the room with you right there, but it does seem to be sitting in the little lobby area here on the same floor.
Mr. Fisk, we have a weird book. Do you want to come look at it? You were an avowed at Candlekeep, weren't you?
Oh yes, I am one of the avowed. A book. I mean, I would love to see a new book. That sounds quite interesting.
We can't read it yet, but it's creepy.
You can't read it yet. A book you can't read.
Well, it's
Well,
not that we can't read. It's we probably shouldn't open it and read it.
All right. Is there some reason why?
A weird guy named Bran told us not to, and he wants us to take it to the bookworm. But I
The
kind of think he's
bookworm.
creepy.
The first reader.
Yes.
Yes.
And he says that you can't read it.
It's
we
only
shouldn't.
knowledge for the first reader, I think is what he said.
It is.
I think he specifically said not to read it. But you're more than welcome to look at it. But I think for the sake of safety, right now is just don't open it. And I'll unwrap it and hold it out.
Interesting that you would be scared of a book of knowledge, but of course, that is your decision if you wish not to read it, and he'll look at it, and he'll tell you a lot of the same things that I told you before, that it is leather bound, and the spine does seem rather sturdy for a book of this age, and he'll actually tell you that, in his estimation, this book is probably nearly 100 years old, based on his estimation, but it doesn't feel like a book of 100 years old. It's actually quite sturdy, surprisingly, very well kept and well managed. And he says it does look like the pages within might be a little worn, but without, opening it and reading it and inspecting the pages, he can't really tell you more about the book, except it looks like a book that's been well taken care of.
Have you ever heard of that title?
Have I ever heard of this title, Deep and Creeping Darkness? No, I can't say that I have. Where did he say it came from? He came upon it?
He
Said it was a
passed
family
down.
heirloom.
Yeah, that it was his grandfather's and had been passed down through the family to him.
Hmm.
He also stated that he'd been to Candlekeep before and had no desire to go back there. So
Paper cuts.
Well, interesting. I don't know many people who aren't interested in returning to the Great Library. It's such a place of wonder. So much knowledge flows forth from that place.
which is kind of why we're a little hesitant to open the book, because the whole situation just seems kind of iffy.
Well, if that is your decision, of course, you're welcome to make it. It is in your possession. It is a fine book. It seems it would probably make a valuable addition to the collection, depending on what the contents of it are.
Well, thank you, and I'll wrap it back up and store it away again.
And he'll kind of go back out to a spot sitting on the couch in the foyer.
So if we're gonna do sleeping arrangements, I'll stay closest to the door if we want to still post fist, just in case.
We probably should. Yeah.
Or
And Arian's gonna write in his journal for 4 hours and then trance for 4 hours.
All right. So you guys are all deciding basically to go to bed.
Yeah. Still stay the night.
All right. So you're posting fist at the door, and Arian is going to do an Arian's thing, writing, and fist is going to go into your sentry mode, essentially.
I would imagine I would also want Dolakesh behind me if possible. I don't think it'll matter, but just in case. If anything's coming
So,
through, I
like,
want it to
over
go
there?
me first. Yeah.
All right. Sounds good. And eventually, Fallister Fisk will turn in for the night also and find a bed over here. All right. Sounds good. Fist. I need to read about your sentry mode real quick.
I mean, I still have perfect view and whatnot. I'm just basically like a dolphin.
I think no matter what, like if an Arian's staying up for another 4 hours, I would have him wake me up before he goes to bed, and then I would probably wake up Dolakesh, so at least we'll have 2 watches.
All right.
Well, 3 watches technically with an Arian still staying up.
All right. Sounds good. Fist. As you are there in your sentry mode, during Anarian, your 4 hours of meditation, a few people come up the stairs and come by towards your direction. And I will put them on the map. So they come up towards you. They seem to be wearing light armor. And they come towards you. As they get closer to you, they hesitate for a moment, and they just stare at you. And then you see them kind of whisper amongst themselves. And then they try to step forward and step past you.
I wouldn't recommend you try that.
And as you say that, this one goes, "Oh, ah," and like gets really startled, and he fumbles back and into this potted plant that is right next to him and knocks it over as the soil just goes everywhere from the potted plant. And he like stands up to his feet, and he kind of pushes the other one aside, and they all clumsily run away.
Would that have been loud enough to wake anybody up?
Yes, absolutely. Give me perception checks, all of you.
I make it a point to remember their faces. Not as good as earlier.
I rolled above a 4.
Yeah, all of
Hooray
you.
for me.
All of you wake up from the noise. As they kind of like fumble and start running away.
The hell? Who are they?
They tried to get past me.
And I guess I'll run up to here and be like, hey,
Yeah.
everyone.
And they like are running. So, you know, my question, by the time like you get up out of bed and you go and you ask what's going on and you look out, I would say that they're probably already down the stairs. Anarian, though, when you wake up, you would probably see like the last of them over here, like around the corner as they're running. So I guess my question would be to you, Anarian, like as soon as you wake up and you see them running, would you do anything, or kind of more so wait and ask what's going on and hesitate? You immediately wake up, right? Your eyes open, and you see these people all at the far end running away, like in fear.
Could I have
And then-
potentially tried? Sorry.
Yeah, and then you look over and you see Dolakesh and Igvis also startle awake in their beds. And that is the scene you immediately wake up to.
So in that case, I'm over here. Okay.
Is it too late for me to have potentially grabbed the one that fell?
Yeah,
If it is, it is. That's fine.
yeah, I would say they're running at this point.
Okay.
Narian being worried about the shield would probably transform into a cat.
Okay. So you transform into a cat, and then Igvis, by the time you and Dolakesh get out of bed and get over to Anarian, these people are already gone from your view. But you heard all of the noise and the commotion, or something crash that woke you up.
So I'll come here and just see the plant all broken.
Yes.
Like-
And Anarian's a cat.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. What? Oh my god, what happened, Fist?
4 people tried. Got close. One tried to push past me into the room. I spoke. It got scared and fell into the plant. They ran.
I'll go talk to the innkeeper. Technically, they're allowed to go past you.
Beds were taken.
You're not
I
wrong.
was told not to let anybody past.
You're not wrong. I'm gonna go explain. Just in case it caused a problem. Also, would you say I would have gotten at least a short rest then? So I can get my key back?
Yeah, at this point, I'd say you would have a short rest.
Okay.
So you go downstairs, and there are like a couple straggling patrons. Not everybody is here that you see there. And you see also Bentley still there behind the bar and seems to be cleaning up most of the bar as people are basically turning in for the night. And he looks and he says, "Well, can I assume that you had something to do with that? The big strapping gentleman that just ran out of the inn?"
Do you remember our big metal friend?
Oh, why, yes, I do. Intriguing fellow.
He was just posted by one of the open doors, just in case. I know there's no fighting allowed, but better safe than sorry. The gentleman tried to walk past him, and he spooked them by speaking. Not sure exactly who they were, but it startled us all awake.
Well, I must say, that is quite hilarious. That's a new one. He startled them just by speaking, you say?
I guess most people aren't used to a talking robot. I don't know what to tell you.
And, there was no fighting, correct? You did not, do anything to harm them? No weapons were drawn and swung?
I think he literally spooked him, and he fell back into a plant. So there's a little damage, but it was from fear, not fighting.
And as you say that, you see his ears kind of perk up a little bit, and he kind of looks up to his upper left in the air, and it's almost as if he's listening for something, and you don't see anything there. And then you see him nod his head. Uh-huh. All right. I see. And then he looks back down at you and says, well, I've corroborated your story. You're great. No worries, of course, Igvis.
Just wanted to get that out there.
Of course, I'm sorry for the disturbance and an unfortunate situation, but hilarious nonetheless. I do hope that you get a great night's sleep.
I'm gonna go finish that now. Appreciate it, sir. Oh, and just as a follow-up, did those men check in? They were welcome to stay, right?
Oh yes. They had paid for a room and everything, and then it's unfortunate that they decided to leave and got scared so easily. But I suppose gold is gold, is it not? They didn't stop to ask for their gold back, so.
They must have just been too spooked. All right, I'm gonna go back to bed now.
Tweet. Bird on my shoulder.
We're all good. We're going to bed.
Excellent.
All right, and you head to bed again.
Anarian curls up by the fire, entrances as a cat.
Oh, in that case, I'd probably stay up for like a shift and then wake up Delicash for the last one, just in case something else happens.
Sounds good. All right, so you are able to do so, and the rest of the night goes without a problem. Anarian, it goes without a problem for everyone else, I should say. But you, towards the end of your shift, the same dream that you had the previous night happens again. Exactly the same as it did before. And I won't mention that on stream because I'll allow you to roleplay that if you so wish. But you have these sweats, and you go through the night, and you just don't feel like you got as great of a rest throughout the night. You still, stat-wise, mechanically, you are going to get your long rest. But you just feel very uncomfortable the entire night. It was a rough night for you.
When
And if you
So-
want, I can resend you.
oh no, I have it.
Okay.
I was just scrolling up to look at it, which took much longer than I thought it would. But yeah, I found it.
Okay. Cool.
When did I rest? I stayed up for 4 hours, then woke up Igvis and went to sleep. So I
Right.
guess
So
he's-
it's whenever you would have gone into your state when all this happened and you woke up, you hadn't finished your 4 hours. So whether
Yeah.
you went right back to your 4 hours or whether you did that during second shift, whenever you would have done that here for the night, because you would have needed to complete your
Yeah.
rest, that's what happens.
Alrighty. So when I wake up, and I turn back into a human, into an elf, is Igvis still asleep?
If you took the first shift and then you were finishing to wake him up again, then yes, he'd be asleep.
Alrighty. I'll just wait until he wakes up.
If anything, Dolakesh would be up if I traded with him.
Yeah, so just remind me again. So how were you doing watches? Because it was Anarian was going for the rest of his shift kind of in his sleep while Fist is there always, and then he was going to wake up
Me.
Dolakesh? You? Okay.
And then I would wake up Dolakesh if we required another person on shift.
Okay. So Anarian, are you physically waking Igvis up?
No, he's just gonna wait till he gets up. He's not gonna mess up his rest.
Okay. So Igvis,
But he
You-
does want to get up as early as possible because he'd like to get Igvis by himself if he can.
gotcha. So Igvis, you go through the night and you wake up. You're one of the first to wake, and you notice Anarian never woke you in the middle of the night for your shift. You slept through it. And you wake up in the early morning. When you wake up, Raylan and Dolakesh are still kind of sleeping. They don't seem to have woken up yet, but it's definitely morning, so they'll probably be up soon.
Okay. Why? It feels like I slept more than I should have.
I turn back into a person. Sorry. I took a cat nap.
All right. I guess I'll wake up the others now. Or actually, I guess
Wait, one second. I've had some kind of disturbing dreams about a black tower.
Black Tower.
Yeah. Did you share with us the weird vision you had in the gold pit?
I don't know if I shared the whole thing, but I do remember talking about a tower, a sky, and an angel.
Yeah, I thought you did. You had a vision of a tower?
I did.
Did
Did you see
did
the
it
stupid angel too?
No, but I did see a bunch of like scary stuff and fire all around, and it was shooting darts out at us and me, and they hit me and it hurt really bad, and then I kind of wake up.
Nah, in mine, I went into the tower and dealt with the one. I guess the leader down there. I'm not entirely sure.
Was there a big cavernous pit in your dream?
DM, you might have to remind me. I don't believe so.
There was not.
No, I didn't have one. It was basically the tower. It looked like a bunch of demons. The sky was filled with lightning and brimstone, and an angel with wings of fire.
As you kind of compare dreams and visions, if you're being kind of open with each other about it, you find that the tower and the general landscape in the sky and all of those things seem to align in your visions. They look the same and feel the same. But there are noticeable differences in the other things. Anarian did not see an angel. You did not see a pit. But that tower seems to be something of significant in both of your dreams. This gigantic looming tower.
I can tell you, the only thing I can really know is that you're getting visions of Avernus. Because
That's creepy.
well, the person that spoke to me in my head, which is why this demon thing didn't matter that much, was Zariel, who is the head of Avernus. So, assuming that's where they all are. And when do you start getting these visions? These dreams?
Um,
The
well,
shield, isn't it?
I've had them since I had the shield. But
I
I
wonder.
also,
Go ahead.
I also haven't really been exposed to anything having to do with Avernus until we were in the manor. And that's the first rest we had since we went in the manor.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know if it was the shield or if it was the creepy lady that turned into fire or if it was the knocking over the statue of the devil lady, angel lady.
Hmm. Tell you what. How about I hold on to the shield today, and we'll see if your visions stop and if I get them, and then we'll know at least where the source is from. That okay with you?
Yeah, it's fine with me. He's really weak. So keep giving him encouraging words.
Can I speak to him?
I don't know.
Guess we'll find out.
And Arian, I'll hand him the shield.
All right. Sounds good.
Oh,
You
wait, can
now have
can I hand him the shield if I'm attuned to it? Just 1 second.
I was just reading up attunement. Bu- 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 bu-
I think you can unattune on a short rest or something. I'm not quite sure.
Like, I know it can only be attuned to one person at a time, but you can end your attunement to an item. And if it's more than 100 feet away from you for at least 24 hours, if you die, or if another creature attunes, you lose your attunement. So basically, you can hand it to him, right? You'll
And then
stay
if I
attuned
attune,
to
then
it
you'll lose it.
until Igvis decides to attune to it, or if you end up far enough away, which is 100 feet for 24 hours.
See if you can talk to it, and I hand him the shield.
Okay, I'll take it and try and speak to the shield. It's like, hey, you in there?
And you don't get any kind of response.
I guess they don't want to talk to me right now. I'll hold on to it. We'll figure it out later. But for now,
Okay.
we'll see if we can at least stop these nightmares of yours.
All right.
Am I good to wake the others now?
Yeah, I touch the shield and say, Igvis is gonna hold on to you for a little while. We'll get you free soon.
Thank you. Free me.
He still talks to me, Igvis.
And then at this point, I think I'd understand. I know what I got to do, and I'll go wake up the other two.
All right, and you successfully wake the other ones as you get up as well, Raylan. And Dolakesh wakes up.
Full disclosure, I'm holding on to the shield for today. It's causing some problems. We'll see if it continues to do so.
Okay.
And then I guess we're good to head out.
And I assume you wake up Fallister as well.
Nah. Just kidding.
All right. And you head out. Back on the road. Back to Candlekeep. Um, the ride to Candlekeep is another 3 days. And it's relatively uneventful as you ride towards Candlekeep. So you will have 3 days pretty much to talk about whatever you would like to talk about, discuss amongst yourselves, do anything extra that you might want to do in those 3 days along that journey. And we can kind of, I think, skip along that a little bit. And if what we'll do is we haven't taken our break yet. Let's take like a 10-15 minute break. Each of you can kind of think what you might be doing in those 3 days. And then when we get back here, we'll you can each just give kind of a high level overview of what you would have been doing in those 3 days. Sound good?
Sounds like a plan.
All right, so we'll go ahead and take a break, and I will see you all in a little bit. All right, we are back from our break, ready to play some more D&D. So when we left off before the break, I was telling the adventurers here that their journey to Candlekeep is going to take 3 days. Here we're going to fast forward those 3 days a little bit, since the rest of the journey is pretty much uneventful besides anything the characters might want to do or say or conversation they might want to have with each other. So we can just kind of go down the list real quick and just, if each of you want to give a high level overview of what you would be doing over the course of these 3 days, and if there's anything specifically you want to talk about with any of the other party members. So, Jonathan, you want to go first?
Sure. Anarian is writing in his journal basically the whole time trying to get his gift of knowledge ready. He spends a little portion of it drawing a picture of the Black Tower in the front cover of the journal on the front page, and then he just adds stuff to his journal for the rest of the time, trying to kind of fill up with information.
And remind me, what kind of stuff would you be writing in the journal specifically?
He is writing about the souls that he's collected from his time in the service of the Raven Queen.
Okay, sounds good.
So their passage, what he did when he collected them, then being returned. Having spent eternity doing that, he has lots of stories, I would guess. So
Awesome. Sounds good. Cool. Igvis, what about you? What would you be doing?
I'm just sending you a quick thing just to get some confirmation. But for me, I would probably have attuned to the shield that I'm at least concerned about, and at least through the first night have seen if I get these same nightmares that Anarian was describing to me. And I was also going to be writing and preparing my knowledge as the first-hand account of Elturel, and as a backup to, just in case, the details of the Duke's assassination.
Sounds good.
Okay. So when I do go to bed on the first night, do I have the same dream he does?
You do not have the same dream that Anarian does, but you do have a dream.
Okay.
And you do wake up with those same kind of sweats and nervousness and just feeling like you don't have a good night's sleep. And the dream that you have is the same dream, or same vision, sorry, I should say, that you had when you were at the pits.
Gotcha. So we're having slightly different variations of the same dream with different obstacles.
did Anarian have a dream?
Anarian did not have a dream. Raylan, what would you be doing?
I think I would have just been, you know, engaging in conversation with, the rest of the party and, maybe telling them a little bit more about myself, but nothing really crazy.
Okay. Is there any specific information about yourself that you'd like to share that you might have told the party on that journey?
Mainly about her time in Chult, and the ruins that she was investigating, and kind of like the little bit of time that led up to finding Fist, and how she lost her entire group because of the undead that came out and attacked them and stuff before Fist was activated and came to help.
All right. Sounds good. And Fist, what would you be doing?
Um, during the day, I'd be playing around with my bird. The evenings, I would be doing some deep dives into myself and seeing if I can't get another memory or two unlocked.
Sounds good. And you don't seem to unlock any new memories as you try over the course of the 3 days. Back to you, Igvis. So after that first night, you have a dream.
Mhm.
What would you be doing the other 2 nights regarding the shield? Would you be still holding on to it? Would you be giving it back to Anarian? How would that go down?
I would probably. Well, I do have one quick question. I assume I don't actually get any particular bonus to AC while holding the shield because of the whole unarmored defense thing. Yeah.
So basically, the unarmored defense is when unarmored. So you'd lose your unarmored defense, but you'd gain the shield bonus, which
I figured as much.
is an additional +2. So I don't know how that works
Okay.
out with your unarmored as far as what's more worth it. But
I honestly think they would be equal. Okay. Understood. So I was just confirming. So after the first night, I would also try and speak to the shield the same way that Anarian has, and see if it's willing to communicate with me now that I'm attuned.
and it would be willing to communicate with you.
Okay. And then am I good just
So
to
is
interrogate
there
a little
a
bit?
yeah? Why don't yeah? You know what? Let's here on the stream. I'm gonna go back to the be right back on the stream, and I'm gonna
Okay.
pull you into a private chat, and we'll have a little quick powwow as far as what you might talk to the shield about, and what
Okay.
you would get in return. So, stream, we will be right back. A quick one. All right, after a quick little aside, we are back. All right, so back to you, Igvis. What, so first night happens, you have your conversations.
Mhm.
What would be your plan going forward with this shield? To give it back to Anarian, to keep it yourself?
I would just talk to Anarian and let him know what I found out, that, the dreams are different. I saw the same one I had seen previously compared to the one that he sees now. I will also tell him that the shield doesn't seem to be malicious in that intent, that it didn't have a choice in that. And lastly, I would ask him if he wants to bear the burden of continuing to deal with these nightmares night after night.
I don't mind the nightmares. The soul's more important than the cost. We have to get him free, or
Uh,
at least back in the cycle.
I'm inclined to agree with you, but I'd still want more information about it. But if you're willing to deal with it, then we can at least share that burden. Maybe every other night I'll take it for you so you can actually sleep well.
That's okay. Yeah, we can do that. Or if it gets to be a burden, I can pass it off to you. This is a bad thing to do, but because our dreams are different, should we let other people experience them?
I'll ask Raylan if they're interested. I don't know if Fist would even have a dream similar to that.
That's true. I don't know if the machine's a dream. Dolakesh might want to as well.
I am inclined not to give this to Dolakesh. He's a little too. I'll just say hungry.
Oh, okay.
And so I'll give the shield back to Anarian, and then we'll continue on from there.
All right. Sounds good. So you give it
Just,
back to Anarian.
As Anarian gets it back, Anarian talks to it all the time. Just, chatting with it. Even though it doesn't want to chat with it.
All right. Sounds good. So you chat to it all the time. I assume you take a short rest to attune back to it, Anarian?
Yeah.
Okay. So you are currently the one attuned to the shield.
Didn't require any moving of the thing. It's fine.
All right. So you continue on all the way, and eventually you come upon Candlekeep. And I am going to...
I guess on the way, I'd also talk to Raylan and see if they're interested in having said nightmares or speaking to the item.
She absolutely would have.
Okay. So if Anarian's cool with it, we might have given it to Raylan maybe on that second night.
Gotcha. And Raylan... Sorry, let me just set this up real quick.
The shield is interesting.
Raylan, you would have more visions as well when you attune to it on that night. And your vision will be different than Igvis's and Anarian's. Question that I have for you is, would you share that vision? Or would you kind of hold it to yourself depending on what it is?
Well, I would, assuming that through the process, Igvis would have explained to me that both him and Anarian had visions, I would absolutely share it.
Okay. So in your vision, and I'm just going to say it for the stream since you're freely sharing it instead of DMing it to you. You see a battle-torn landscape, cracks and fissures in the ground in a desolate, barren plain. The sky is red, comet streaming from the sky, and when you look up to your right, there is a giant tree, a large, burning, dead tree from which hang the bodies of faceless individuals. As the tree is burning, you hear a voice in the distance and a low, guttural sound, almost like a whisper, but commanding, that says, "I see all. Am always watching." And then that fire on the tree grows as your hands are bound, your feet are bound, and you fall to the ground on your back. And as the fire grows and starts to consume you, you don't feel a burn, but an intense cold. And eventually it washes over you, and the flame turns blue, and you wake up from your nightmare.
A little disturbing. A little disturbing.
I tried to warn you. It's not fun.
And then, I would obviously give the shield back to Anarian, and I would ask them both, do you think that maybe this is all parts of the same overarching like situation that may have played out? Like, are we seeing something that's already happened, or is this what we have to look forward to? What do you guys think?
Every time Zariel spoke to me, it was a promise of maybe something that's going on currently, and that they could see into the future and wait for me to arrive. I'm not entirely sure. But it seemed like mine and Anarian's visions are slightly more connected just because we both saw the tower. You saw a tree. I wonder if they're all on Avernus or if these are different circles of hell.
It's a good question.
The library might have information about the hells.
Yeah, I guess we'll see when we get there.
And you know that, as you discuss this on your journey and you're there with Fallister Fisk, he mentions that you're going to see Severa Savicus, who is an expert on the planes, and specifically the Nine Hells. And that she would definitely be a great source of knowledge for any of questions that you might have in that regard.
I guess we can do one last test on our last night before we get there and allow Fist to have it to see if he can even dream. But that's the only other thing I can think of with it.
I don't think Fist does dream, though.
If that's the case,
Technically,
it
I
might be
don't
the
dream
best
either.
Yeah, good point.
Because these, late night terrors are. Oh my god. I don't want to deal with them all that often.
Anarian doesn't mind them so much because his whole life has kind of been nightmares, and he walks through his dreams. His trances are in walking through his past lives, so he kind of does that every night. Anyway,
So, Fist, would you be trying to do the same thing to attune to the shield, and or would
Frey
you?
asks.
Fine.
If Frey asks him to do it, he will do it.
If the other two thought it was a good idea, then I would have asked them.
Well, I was more getting your opinion. If you thought you should be exposed to do it as well.
What's the worst that could happen?
it seems like we're getting different perspectives every time from every person. So
This
the
might
more
be
information we have,
these might be our own personal hells. I don't know.
So you tell me. You tell me what your decision is, Fist, as far as what you want.
As long as Ray asks him to do it, he will do it.
She would have asked. She too is curious.
Okay. So Fist, you do get a vision when you attune to the shield that night, similar to everybody else, but different. And then I ask you the same thing. Would you share it with the rest of the group?
Yeah, I'll share it.
Okay. As you have your vision, same exact tattered landscape that I described. Um, but when you look up, uh, there's is a maze of brambles, a large, gigantic group of just twigs and vines that kind of seep throughout, and there's a little hidden passageway that you could walk through. You seem to be drawn to that passageway, but when you go to take a step, uh, your feet won't move. And when you look down, you notice that you have no feet, that you are nothing but a head on the ground. And as you kind of scatter and look your eyes around, you notice that you are broken in pieces that are scattered all about the ground. And in the distance, coming from the bramble, as you are looking up, looking at the broken pieces of yourself on the ground, you hear a cackle, um, a maniacal laugh that is just ear piercing. And similar to everybody else's dreams, the bramble catches fire, as fire seems to be a theme of all these dreams. And it overtakes the bramble and overtakes you. And the voice you hear is not a low and guttural one like Raylan heard, but a high-pitched one, that of a woman who says, "You will always be broken, never to be truly fixed, never to be what you once were. Succumb to the darkness, my love. Succumb and be one with us." And that vision will then fade as you wake up in the middle of the night.
Does the woman look at all familiar to me? Does it ring? Does her face ring a bell?
So you don't see the source of the voice. This is coming out from the brambles as you're looking
Oh,
about
okay,
at your
okay.
scattered body, ringing through your ears. So you don't actually see the source of the voice, you just hear it.
Okay, that makes sense.
So, real quick, I'm the only one who got a clear view of my, we'll just call it tormentor.
You are the only one who got a clear view of anything speaking to you, yes.
Okay.
And I'm the only one that didn't get spoken to.
Correct.
You both had the theme of trees. We both had the theme of a black tower. I hate it. Hate everything about it. We need to get this thing looked at.
I agree.
I don't think the thing inside wants to be evil, but it feels like it might be twisted to be evil. It's hard to say.
After that, would you then, I guess, is the plan to give the shield back to Anarian again, or is somebody else going to hold on to it? Now that you have all tasted it.
Just based
Venarian's
on
gonna hold on to it, I think.
I was gonna say, just based on the stats of it, can you use it while you're using your bow?
Yeah.
You can? Okay. Then yeah, it's perfectly fine for you. I was worried that you couldn't use this thing at the same time. That's all.
Yes.
All right, so
It's literally
Anarian has
worthless
it
for me
again.
because I want my AC.
So Anarian, and then I assume you attune to it again.
Yeah.
Okay, great. As you continue on, and you eventually come to Candlekeep. Candlekeep. I'm going to share a picture. So, as you get closer, the enormous double gates of Candlekeep are 3 times the height of a human and wrought of black metal. You can see faint runes pulsing in the air around them, revealing them to be heavily warded with magic. Both doors are emblazoned with the sigil of Candlekeep. One of the doors stands open enough to allow visitors, but the other door is shut. However, standing between you and the door are 5 individuals who look like priests, dressed in purple vestments with holy symbols around their necks, depicting a lit candle above an open eye. And so you see this vision of Candlekeep that I shared with you, and I'll share it again because it's on a timer, just so you can get a really good view of that picture. You see those birds circling overhead, and standing atop is a great city, walled city at different levels, all kinds of spires jutting out. And you see those priests standing before the doorway, and there seems to be a somewhat lengthy line in front of the door as these priests seem to be inspecting something of individuals, and quite a number of them seem to be turned away, though a few are able to enter the gates. Would you like to do anything before you approach the line at the front gate?
I don't think so.
I think I'm good.
No.
Okay, so Fallister Fisk will kind of speak up as you approach and says, well, this is where we're going to need our gift of learning. I hope that you're all ready to provide something for the Great Library that it does not already have within its collection. We should probably just go over it once more to make sure that we're all set. He says, I have this book of recipes as well that I can lend to somebody who doesn't feel that they have something worthy or of note.
I have a plan and a backup just in case.
Raylan has that copy of the map to a ruin or a dungeon that she made, and she also has the copy of her personal journal detailing all the information she gained while repairing and activating Fist, which she'll hand to him.
And Fallister Fisk will say, oh no, you keep it. They will inspect each item by individual.
No, I meant hand the journal to Fist.
To Fisk, right?
No, to Fist, I think.
Oh,
Me.
Fist.
To
Fist.
Fist.
I got you.
F15.
Gotcha.
F1-5T.
Makes sense. It's too similar. Fisk, Fist. Yeah. So
you did it on purpose. Just kidding.
Okay, great.
And
And
you can give the book of recipes to Dolakesh just in case. I don't know if he prepared anything.
all right, and he will. He'll give the book of recipes to Dolakesh, and he'll also say, those admitted to the Great Library, they are referred to as seekers. They can typically request the assistance of an avowed adjutant who acts as a guide and research assistant for the duration of your visit. When you first go through the doors, you have the Court of Air, and that is where all of the seekers reside, and that is where they do their research. Beyond the Emerald Door is the Great Library itself and its many spires, and no seekers are allowed through that door. Now, of course, Savira Savikis, who we're here to meet, is a great reader, and I am, of course, an avowed myself. But I need to get special permission in order for you to be able to pass the Emerald Door and gain an audience with Savira. But I need it in writing for the keeper of the Emerald Door to allow you pass from a great reader or above. So once we enter the keep, you'll be on your own for a little while in the court of air to peruse as you like, until I have time to go through and talk to Severa and get her written seal to grant you access to the inner sanctum.
Ju-
What about access to the bookworm?
Bookworm, no seeker, and not even most of the adjutants have access to Bookworm. The first reader only deals with the great readers specifically. Not even I really gain an audience with him. I doubt that you'll be able to gain audience with Bookworm itself, though of course you're more than welcome to try and request it.
And how would I request that?
You would typically go through one of the avowed, who would then speak to a great reader, who would then pass on that word to Bookworm himself. Once we gain audience with Severa, you could ask Severa, but knowing Severa and her being a stickler for the rules, I'm not. I don't believe that she will put
Do you think
forward
we
that
should ask
request
her?
on your behalf.
Do you think I should ask her first anyway, and then if she says no, then go the other route?
I think that you are free to do as you wish. I'm just letting you know that I don't think that asking her will bear fruit.
Okay, I appreciate it.
Which great reader would be helpful with the weird book that we've got that might be a bad thing?
Well, any of the great readers really could help with that. But again, like I said, you'd need a reason to gain audience with them. As I said, the Emerald Door, you only get past that if you have invitation from a great reader. Specifically, you need their permission to meet with them. So we will be able to get that for Severa, I promise you. But I'm not sure how you would gain an audience with any of the other great readers without having a prior connection with them or the library.
So we're really lucky that we're talking to Sylvia already, because I was going to ask them about all the other things that we're dealing with. Okay.
Correct. Without
and-
my introduction, even Silvera would be near impossible for you to gain audience with.
And just until we actually do get to meet with Silvera, to be clear, we would like to hold on to the relic. I like having collateral. Don't mind me. It's a personal thing.
All right. That is perfectly fine. Do you have any other questions for me about Candlekeep itself? As I mentioned, once we get inside, we will be separated. So if you have any
Where's
questions,
the
now is
best
the
place
time
for
to ask.
lunch?
Well, you can go to the Hearth. It is a tavern in the Court of Air, a modest tavern of sturdy construction, but that is where all of the seekers spend their time, having meals, having a good time.
And I know that this is kind of like a temple, but also not a temple, but kind of a temple. Is there anything we need to do to serve whatever the place is? Are there any, I guess, manners or customs we need to follow?
Yes, of course. There are the orders of accordance that you will need to follow, and you will be required to agree to them by the avowed that watch the main gates, and they'll remind you of them. But they are no fighting. So all arguments must follow the rules of cordial debate and discussion, and violent altercations are not to be tolerated. There's no stealing, and that rule applies to all objects in the keep, not just the library's work. There is no copying, so visitors are permitted to take notes while studying the library's works, but anyone who wants to make a full copy of a work must pay to have the manuscript created by scribes at the house of the binder. And no damaging, marking, or otherwise modifying the works within the library. This rule doesn't apply to privately owned book scrolls and other documents that aren't part of Candlekeep's collection. And if you violate any of those rules, it will result in banishment from Candlekeep, and the banished are seldom ever allowed to return.
Okie dokie.
Is there some place specific that I would go to maybe get more information, such as myself?
Yeah, so, all seekers typically are assigned an avowed adjutant upon request, which they will ask you about at the front gate. So, if you wish, you can be assigned an adjutant who will basically serve as a guide within the keep. And if you wish to request certain books or certain sources of knowledge, you can ask your adjutant, who will go through the Emerald Door and gather that information in the Great Library and bring out the required sources of knowledge for you to peruse at your leisure. Most people do that within the Pillars of Pedagogy, which is a quiet study and research facility with all sorts of chambers guarded by permanent silence spells. And a great place for reflection.
I will nod and keep on walking with. Oh wait, we're staying still, aren't we?
Yeah, this is kind of as you're approaching, and you see
Oh god.
Candlekeep kind of there in the distance.
Making sure we have our affairs in order.
Yeah. I'll just nod.
All right. Are there any other questions you might have for me?
I think the rest of my questions are for the people inside.
Same.
6.
All right. Sounds good. You approach. And you approach Candlekeep, and the line continues to dwindle until eventually you make it to the front door. What order are you in? Who would be first?
I guess I don't mind being first.
Okay. Igvis, so you are first, and there are 3 mages in these purple robes that I described before, with that symbol of a lit candle above an open eye on these holy symbols around their necks. And they look at you and motion you to stop, and say, in order to enter the great library of Candlekeep, one must present a gift of learning, a work of writing not already collected within our great library. Do you have your gift ready to be received and inspected?
I do, and I'll pull out a journal and hold it out to them. This is a first-hand account of what occurred at El Terrell when the companion was consumed.
Yes, we have heard of that tragedy, the tragedy of El Terrell, but I'm not sure whether we have a first-hand account of it. Please, pass it over, and I shall inspect.
I'll hand it to him.
Okay. And give me a persuasion check as well, with advantage.
Gross. Oh my god. 2.
And they look it over, and as they look over this book, they put their hands on the journal, and their holy symbols glow. And they hand it back to you, and they say, I am sorry, but this is insufficient. It seems that we already have a first-hand account of what happened in the fall of that great city.
I do have one other backup, and I will produce the notes and things of all the things I collected in regards to Duke Porter's death and the assassination.
All right, give me another persuasion at advantage.
I'm so sad. 14. Better.
And they will look over all of these notes as they again put their hand over and their holy symbol glows, and they turn back and they say, this gift of learning will suffice. We do not yet have this account in our great library. Thank you for your knowledge. You may pass.
And I'll step past them and just stay by the door, I suppose.
Yeah, and as you go and you stay by the door, other mages will beckon for you to continue moving, as to not clog
right.
up the way. And then we'll go, who is the second person in line?
Hope no one else will.
Okay, so F15T, you go up next. And you'll get the exact same speech, almost verbatim from the mages, as to say, in order to enter the Great Library, a gift of learning is required, a work of writing not already collected within the Great Library. Are you ready to hand that over for inspection?
This journal contains notes and diagrams on how I was brought back into existence from ruins.
And go ahead and give me a persuasion at advantage as they take that from you, and they begin looking over the notes.
No!
And they look at you and they say, I'm sorry, but this will not suffice. Unfortunately, we have already information about Warforged and how they are assembled. Do you have something else to present?
I guess I'll have to take a step back.
And they nod as you take a step back. And the next person in line is who?
I guess Anarian will go next.
All right. Anarian, you get the exact same spiel. A gift of learning is required for the Great Library, a work of writing not already collected within our Great Library. Are you ready to hand something over for inspection?
He hands over his journal of the basically the memories he has of his past life collecting souls. And he says, these are the memories of the Shatter Kai that I used to be. All our memories are kept in the Palace of Memories in the Shadowfell, so shouldn't have any of these. The Raven Queen doesn't like to share.
Go ahead and give me a persuasion check at advantage.
$14.
And they say, yes, rare works indeed, the Raven Queen, trapped by her fascination with the past, goddess of life and death. These are of great interest to the library, and these first-hand accounts are invaluable. Thank you for your gift of knowledge. And they will beckon for you to go forth.
I wave at Fisk and say, "We'll think of something." And go on through.
All right. And then Dolakesh will go up and will hand the recipe that he was given by Fallister Fisk, and they will nod as well and allow Dolakesh through. Raylan, do you step forward?
I do.
Okay. So you step forward and you get the exact same spiel. A gift of learning is required to enter the Library of Candlekeep, a work of writing not already collected within our great walls. Are you ready to hand something over for inspection?
Yes. And then I pull out the copied map and I hand it over. My mother and I found this in a ruin.
And go ahead and give me a persuasion check at advantage. And they'll say, quite an interesting map, intricate, and of a location we have not seen before. This will make a fine collection, addition to the collection of other maps in our great library. Thank you for your gift of knowledge, and they will beckon you to also move through.
And I'll look back at Fist and then look back towards the doors and we'll figure something out.
I shall stay out here and wait for your return.
I'll look for information while we're in there in case you can't come in.
Thank you.
All right. And then you move through?
Yes.
All right. You move through. Let's see. What time is it? It is midnight.
12 o'clock.
All right. I think a couple of you said you had a hard stop at midnight. And I think that actually might have worked out really well. I think this probably is a good place to stop. And then we can pick up next session, seeing what happens to those of you who made it inside and the one of you who did not. Picking up next session at Candlekeep. Otherwise, great session, everybody. And for all the viewers, I will see you later next time. Everybody go ahead and say goodbye to the stream.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah.